Happy Wednesday. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad I'm here. I had a lot of fun getting ready for this today. I was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? And then I have too much, and I apologize for that, but oh well. With enough caffeine, anything is possible. So I will just keep chugging on the coffee so that I can go fast. We have, as you can see, a plethora of fabulous products to work with. And this is after I already pared it down a little bit. I had more in here and realized there is no way on this green earth that I can use this. And then I realized I don't have green, so I guess it's okay. I do have a little bit of green over here, but mostly it's autumn. When I knew that I was doing Halloween, I thought, I'm not a Halloween girl. What am I going to do? I'm sorry, Drake. I know I should say that. I'm not a Halloween girl. That's almost blasphemy. But I'm not. So I thought, oh my gosh. So then I thought, well, instead, I'll just do Falloween with all the fall colors. But then I got started, and I was having so much fun with the whimsy and the spooky and the haunting that we're doing Falloween, Halloween, we're doing everyween, and it should be a ton of fun. So Drake, thanks for sending me pictures. That helped get me excited and get started. And then I stole an idea from Julie Beck Rogers because I thought that is brilliant. And then I came up with some of my own ideas. Once in a while, I can do that. And today, I'm going to share with you. If you are on your phone, remember housekeeping, turn it sideways, it's bigger. If you're on your computer, you can go full screen. You know the drill, all of that we tell you. In the studio with me, we've got a full house. We've got teacher assist Hitomi. She's watching on YouTube and Facebook and will be voicing any questions that you put in. On tech, Ricky is in control and she's gonna keep us live and try to keep me centered and stay where I'm supposed to be. And then teacher Michelle is watching Facebook and going to voice out questions that you have. Then of course on the other side of the wall, class is in session and they are doing the Bespo garden style bridal bouquet. They're turning out beautiful. They had eryngium and protea and roses and lisianthus. They had so many different things. If you've been in basic floral design, you know that that's a hard one, but an incredibly fun one. And that's what's happening with teacher Carolyn with the students on the other side. And then we have you. So introduce yourself, let people know where you're from. Remember, this is a Tulip People collaboration. We're building connections. Last week, we had you post your businesses on there so that you could all start getting to know who each other is professionally. And I know we got some good connections started already there. Today, just for sure, get your name in there with your location and let the other tulips know that you're with us. If there's somebody that you know that should be watching and be part of our Falloween, tag them, share them out, call, say, hey, get on there, text them, send an email, whatever, Snapchat. There's so many different things, like how do you do it? But you guys build the crowd. I'll start creating. I thought I would start with something kind of simple that would be a kickoff to the autumn season. So I have a large loamy tray, black for Halloween, and then I used half bricks of the Oasis Midnight Foam. And then to make sure that my tape doesn't show, rather than floral tape, I'm using black electrical tape because that will secure it and not show. I don't have to worry about trying to conceal my mechanics. It'll all be right there. So yes, you can use black electrical tape if you want to secure. And I'm just going from side to side. And then I'm taking that end and folding it back on itself. That way I'll find it again. So those of you that do Tulip Tuesday, you know that leaving that little courtesy tab on the end really makes it easier. So it's electrical tape, like you get at the hardware store, that I can use to secure Midnight Foam in the tray, and then I'm ready for designing. And I thought for this one, I'm basically doing something that you might put out on your porch. Maybe you have a big urn that come holidays, you put a tree in or something, but for autumn, maybe you can just set this on your urn and design away. While I start gathering materials, Michelle, he told me what's going on out there.
Well, we've got a lot of tulips that are checking in, still coming in. Drake, Jim, Anne, Sherry, Olga, Rick, Deb, Denise, Harmony. Harmony hasn't been with us for a while. Vega, who's coming next month, super excited. Yay. Carl, David is on. He chalked in from outside the office. Dorian, Scott, Renee, Kathleen, and Natalie. And Sweetbriar says, your earrings are awesome. I see the spider, but what's the other one?
Well, I don't know which is which. Okay, this one is a spider, and this one is a spider web with a little spider on it. And those of you that follow me on Facebook know that one of my favorite things is to find weird stuff on the street. And these both, over the years, I have found on the street. So I'm wearing street findings, kind of weird, I know. But I figure they're sanitized or something. But yeah, I decided to go to my Halloween look today. I'm glad all of you are here. You'll notice I'm wearing gloves. These rose hips are wicked, and also one of the things that I'm somewhat allergic to. And so if I get pricked by them, I swell up really weird. And it's like, oh, well, that wouldn't be very pretty on camera. And so David, yes, I'm wearing my gloves. This is for you. This is for David. Because he would be sitting there going, what are you doing? But by just taking these and putting them in randomly, I'm not even being very formal with this as a starting point. Keep it over there. I like following because you can start right now, which I already have. I've got some pumpkins at the house. I've got autumn flowers at the house. I've been collecting gourds, and I like the fact that basically as soon as Labor Day hits, you can go full on. Now I know some of you start earlier, Drake, but for me, Labor Day is the turning point, and I like to start bringing in Halloween-y type things. My father-in-law used to make different stained glass, and so I have some stained glass leaves that we hang. And then my mother-in-law liked to do all kinds of little knick-knacky things, and so we have this wood candy corn thing on a stick, and it's like, oh, that just makes me laugh every year when I get it out because it's so cheesy. Candy corn cheese, cheesy, but at the same time, when else can you do things that are that weird except for Halloween? When it's expected to be a little weird, have a lot of accessories around your home, and start just building it out. The other thing I like about this one, as I finish up a little more here, is you can do things that maybe you wouldn't normally do, or things that are just one-off. So we had a surprise in our flower delivery on Monday, and yeah, I know. Interesting, eh? It's a hydrangea that has been color enhanced or sabotaged, I don't know. And I mean, one. And they just stuck it in the box as a joke. And I'm like, I am going to use this. So for this, how perfect. You can do one off, set it down in, and then the reality is that's going to dry and last through the season. The rose hips are going to dry and last through the season. Then I grabbed just one. This always makes me think of Little Shop of Horrors, and I thought how perfect for this arrangement. And I could cut it down.
Sorry, Leanne, but David said, thank you very much for wearing your gloves. And Caledonia replied, nothing spookier than anaphylactic shock.
Yeah, it would definitely add to the ambiance of our haunting hour. Sticking that guy over here. So just adding in randomly. I'm not worrying about getting threes or triangles or being proper. I'm just placing stuff in. Then we had some leftover chrysanthemums. I think these are like 3 or 4 weeks old. And I thought, well, give them to me, they're autumn. And they'll be perfect in here. Just tuck down in. And again, they'll last so well. And if you're in a colder climate outdoors, they could last a month. It's conceivable. This is going to dry and last forever. The rose hips are going to dry and last forever. These will dry and last forever. The chrysanthemums don't dry and last forever, but they're not going to look bad. And even as they do fade, they'll be fine tucked in here. I think that's one of the joys of the autumn season is chrysanthemums are so abundant and available and long lasting and relatively inexpensive. So you can get quite a bit of bang for your buck.
And that's a Banksia, correct?
It is Banksia, yes.
They're asking, what is that thing? What is that? Microphone.
Banksia, yes. I may not get this one totally done because I don't want to take a lot of time on it. We've got so much more to do, and you can see I could poke flowers forever because I gave myself lots of surface area to work. But I don't want to use up all my good stuff. I just wanted to give you sort of a starting point about just get autumn materials and then add them together. I'm going to set it back behind me so it's out of the way, making sure I don't touch the rose hips. Yeah.
Man, that's just got so much texture in it.
Isn't that fun? And then sliding it out of the way, I told you I have gourds and such at the house. I just set them in big bowls, whatever. It would actually be perfect just set down in the center of this. To fill in the middle area. Just to give you a little bit more of that autumn feel. I'm going to move my rose hips now because I'm going to be probably avoiding those a bit. There we go.
And that looks great. That really helps unify it with that white hydrangea.
You know, I thought that was kind of funny that they sent me the whitish brown and then it worked well with the Banksia, which I had personally chosen, so that was kind of a surprise. But then I knew I had the whiter gourds, and I thought, you know, it really does sort of pull it all together, giving me unity. Think about your flower school. You've got your unity to have it all work. So once you have the big pot outside and you've announced to everybody, hey, we're ready for the autumn season, we're ready for Halloween, you want to start thinking about bringing it inside as well. And with the smaller gourds, I got these at our farmer's market just this last weekend, and they're so wonderful, absolutely great. And
Connie wanted to know, are you allergic to apples? Those are related to rose hips.
I am not allergic to apples. Isn't that interesting? Yeah, I'm not sure why that particular thing. And I didn't believe it for years. And it was like 2 or 3 years worth of me getting poked and swelling up and looking really stupid that I finally realized, oh, you are allergic to those. That is probably not a good thing. And so I tend to avoid them, but I love them. So now I just only wear gloves when I work with them because they're too cool. So I thought, again, thinking about longevity, how to bring things that you can have outside for the whole time, then inside for the whole time, and still be able to enjoy. I have to show you this too. We did a video using this witch, which you'll get shortly on a Monday. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, subscribe to that. If you haven't subscribed to our newsletter, get it, because then when we send you out this video, which is one of my favorites, I filmed it as a centerpiece for Halloween using the witch prop. So now you've seen the witch, but I'm not going to tell you about the arrangement because that's a surprise waiting to be shared with you. But make sure you subscribe to YouTube and subscribe to the newsletter. That way you'll find out when the witch is coming your direction to haunt you. On this guy then, I was like, what am I going to do? And I had these old orange berries. And I thought, well, let's do those. They're faux. And then we had this plant in the office that's not very healthy. It's alive and it's doing well, but it just seems weird. And I thought, it may need some pruning. So I thought that's where I was going to start with this. What have you got over there, Michelle?
Well, Rick said that when he used to work in a shop, Halloween was a big impulse holiday for them. People didn't really order Halloween designs, but if they were ordering something for a different occasion, they were like a birthday or get well, they were open to a Halloween themed design.
Interesting. When I owned my flower shop, Halloween was actually a huge opportunity for us. And it was more of a marketing tool than anything else. We actually ended up having to close the store for a half an hour on Halloween every year because it was too busy and too many people that we couldn't allow them in. I know, that's weird, huh? And that's how you market yourself? But yes, every Halloween we would have a costume contest for all the customers. And at noon on Halloween, we'd have a parade and we'd have 100 people show up in costumes trying to win prizes. So we'd have to lock the store, go outside, do our parade, and then we'd vote and figure out who won. And it was so much fun. It was a great marketing tool for us. And we found that we sold a lot of Halloween product. People like to be kids again. They want fun in their life and frivolity. I'm putting just a little bit of glue on to the pumpkin itself because things will stick better if it's glue to glue. And then I'm doing glue here. And I know many of you out there are going, oh, she has glue! And yes, I do have glue. I've been hoarding the glue because we wanted to make sure we had glue for our class. Like today, they did wrist corsages using the glue. And then in 2 weeks when we have the advanced class, they need the glue. And then on October 17th, Berger will be here from Iceland. Yay! In fact, that class is almost sold out. So if you're looking at joining us before the end of the year, that's the last class, starts October 17th. I think I have 2 spaces left if you would like to join us. But I promise you, I'll have glue because I've hoarded it and hidden it away so that we don't run out before school is done, because it will come back in stock. It will be happening. It's not that it's discontinued. It's just our exciting supply chain disruption. You've heard that too many times, I know. But that's really all it is. So yes, you will be getting it back in. And yes, we have it for you in flower school because you need it. You gotta have it. You need to learn all the techniques. So you can see the succulents actually start enhancing the freckled pumpkins so that it just becomes a little bit more ornate, working it around the stem, then going back with my berries to brighten.
Oh, that'll add a nice little pop up there.
Does it look good on camera?
It does, it reads well.
Good. That's always the hard part. I'm like, oh, it looks beautiful to me, but I hope it looks pretty to you. using the technique, I said that the class today was doing the wrist corsages. This technique that I'm working with the glues and such is just what you would learn in basic design when you learn how to do corsages. How to glue the things in, how to make sure it stays with it, glue to glue, how to take care of your glue tube so that it doesn't glue itself shut, all the stuff that you need to be successful. That seems kind of silly. It's like, well, that should be common sense, but nothing is common sense. Everything has to be learned. And tell me what's going on in your world.
It's cute. YouTube, I'm just looking at everyone's comment, and Janet said, "Good evening, tulips. Glue, everyone's friend." And Kathy's asking if people prefer hot glue versus cold glue. Do you have a preference?
Okay, so advanced students, maybe you will answer that for me. If you have taken advanced with us, either online or in the classroom, you know that there are many different glues and each task has a specific glue. So how would you answer that? Is hot glue or cold glue better? And I'm curious to see what you guys come up with, because I'll come back to that. So Hitomi, don't let me forget. I'll come back and we'll discuss it a little bit more. But yeah, I have to sneak up front for just a minute because I have to reach one more thing. I didn't put it close enough to me because I forgot, but that's okay.
You got goodies all over the studio today, Leanne.
I know, I spread out so much. Oh, you guys, if you could have seen, you would have just cackled. I had things piled everywhere. It was just a disaster. And I'm like, what was I thinking? But I was out of control. I was just totally out of control and having too much fun. And it's a good thing I wasn't scheduled to teach today, because my mind was not on teaching and students. My mind was on Halloween. And so, yeah. So then what I've done is just take a little tiny bit of curly willow and then adding glue and letting it be a bow so that it comes in right up in the top, adding some more movement and texture, enhancing the rhythm. We've got to bring this back to flower school words, but enhancing the rhythm. It was exciting because I wasn't planning to buy curly willow on Monday, but I got there and they had some of the best willow I have seen in months. It was just gorgeous willow. So I bought an entire bale of it because I knew that my students would need it next week and I wanted them to have the best willow. So I was so excited. They're going to have so much fun with that. It's one of the challenges, and I'm sure as you all are working in your stores, finding the best product all the time can be really difficult. And so we as a staff are constantly on the hunt for what's cool, what's wonderful, and then when we find it, grab it so that the students have it and we can carry on. So I've got this little guy decorated up to add value. Elevate it. So I found this black candlestick. I thought, how perfect. I mean, it's just an inexpensive metal candlestick. But the minute I put the pumpkin on it, it's got so much more value. It's got, people want it because like, oh, look at this. Then you might sell two. Put another one, decorate it up. I'm not going to take time to decorate it now. Decorate it up, sell both of them. Maybe add some autumn leaves around the bottom to spread it out a little bit. Or I found my gloves. I love these gloves. They use hi, how are you? But wouldn't they be fun? Just draped around.
Oh, you could put Oasis aluminum wire in the fingers and it could hold on to the candlestick.
I was actually going to do that and then I ran out of time. Because I forgot something. I had to rush back home to get it. And David, I know you weren't home because I was there.
Oh. Busted, David.
But, so then I didn't have time to put wire, but yeah, that was my plan, was to, wouldn't it be cool if they had wire in them and they could just even come out from the sides? Look almost magical.
That looks pretty cool on camera though.
Yeah, and so thinking outside of the box when it comes to Halloween, thinking about things you can do quickly and easily with leftover bits so that you can add value, create profits, make a multiple item sale, then looking at how do you display it so that it looks more valuable, elevating it. If you did advanced, you know that when we do the orb, we add value. I'm not going to go any further there because it would spoil it for those that you haven't had it yet. But all of these techniques are the same things we teach in class, just changed to the season and to the product. So I'm going to move this one while I move things around. What else is happening out there in the world?
Well, lots of good answers from very smart tulip graduates on your hot versus cold glue.
Okay. What are they saying?
Well, let me just read them because they're pretty much carbon copy.
Oh, I love
one
it.
after another. Cold glue is better. It holds up in the cooler. Hot glue will come apart. Cold glue is best for corsages and boutonnieres. Cold glue is better for fresh flower. Cold glue on fresh. Hot glue is not for fresh flowers. Once it goes into the cooler, the bond will not hold. Plus, it's not great for the flower itself. Hard no on hot glue.
Excellent. So that is the answer. And those of you that have been to flower school, you've heard me say that. And I am glad that you listened because now you were able to answer out to the rest of the crowd. Any other questions that you have, ask away because we're here to answer. And as you can see, the tulips know the answers too, and they're happy to help. And who knows, you might get a new best friend that has more to share with you. Like, which one do I want to do next? Oh my gosh. Okay. I couldn't decide because there's so many designs now with skulls and such. And I thought, oh, but I don't want to do a skull. But then I thought, well, skull is nothing more than a head. And I have heads, so maybe I should do a head thing. And so then I got both of these because I couldn't decide. So we're going to do both. But let's start with this one. Again, going back to advanced flow design, we're going to use a technique we learned there. So tell me, what have you got?
Well, it's a special news on YouTube. Grayson's watching today, so.
Oh, good.
Grayson, oh, yay. So hi, Grayson. I'm glad you're here. Happy Halloween. And I don't always know when you're on, but I know you try to catch me sometimes, so wonderful. I'm glad you're here. So, those of you that have done advanced, you know we do the woven nest arrangement. Well, that technique can become so many different things because you're just learning a technique. So rather than using barked wire and creating the nest, teacher Michelle helped me out by using silver aluminum wire, or the metallic wire, not aluminum, silver metallic wire, and wove me a spider web. And I'm not sure, Ricky, can we get a picture of that? Does it show?
It shows well while you're holding
Yeah,
it.
it's sparkly.
Okay, good.
It sparkles.
Yeah.
It's the same technique we teach in advanced. It's just using a different medium, the metallic wire, to weave it into a flat shape instead of a rounded shape. And then it becomes a spider web, which I thought was just perfect to add into my orchids. And I'm just going to wire it in place. And I have a feeling this one's going to my house because I was so excited about this particular design. I was like, ooh. And then bringing it down. Uh-oh, they're laughing in the classroom. They're not supposed to have that much fun. Oh my gosh, it's school. It's not supposed to be fun. Bad students, bad students.
We have fun in the classroom, Leanne, but we get a lot of work done too.
That is true. We do get a lot of work done, and it is so much fun. I would have to agree. You know, learning should be fun.
Oh, that looks really good on
Does it look
camera.
good on camera?
It does, that's cool.
So then, once I have it secured, I can go back and remove the ends that I don't need, or leave them. It sort of depends on what you like. I'm going to remove them because I want it to look like it's almost just suspended here. There we go. Then, going through our treasure trove, I found the little jewels on wire, and I thought, oh, they could be like little dewdrops. And so just clipping it down, and then finding a spot. And I could glue it, but it really isn't necessary. With the wire, it's just going to disappear here. Make sure that the shiny side is out, though. It doesn't do you any good to have a jewel if you put the shiny side in.
What a great and inexpensive to create add-on for plants specifically, but that could go across the top of any kind of arrangement, just as a little accent.
And you know what? Wiring them on is not working. Okay, note to self. Glue is your friend. The wire doesn't want to stay where I need it to be, so it's live. Now you know the truth. It doesn't always work just the way you want it to. And so going back to my glue, and just a dab of glue right on the tip, and then feeding that in. Holding it until it sets, and then doing that probably 3 times. I'm not going to make you wait for me to do it 3 times, but getting it glued in there so that it will sparkle, capture the light, add a little element of surprise. Then I thought, well, if you've got a spider web, chances are you have a spider. And there we go. Using just a little bit of bouillon wire because it's even lighter, a little more delicate. And capturing my spider. This spider has been used so many different times for different things. It used to have a battery in it that it lit up, and so I can actually use the coils from that battery, I need my glasses so I can see, to secure to. Because it's never going to have a battery again, so I'm not worried about saving it. So there, I've pulled it out a little bit so you can see. It's just a little cable from the battery, and then I slide this in and twist. Adding him right in. Question is, do I want him to dangle or do I want him to lay? I think I want him to lay, kind of like that, right onto the leaf. I could even add a little bit of glue to it. Yeah, that's where I'm going to go. Pull it up and over.
Or you would pick him
I could pick him into the
into
whole
it, and
thing.
it could kind of dangle down.
Ooh.
Oh, that looks good too, though.
Does that work now?
That looks pretty cool too.
Okay, so just kind of feeding them in. And getting rid of my extra. I don't need all that extra wire there, but taking that down. So again, I'll add more of the glittery things before we do the photo because we've got to have those, but that'll wait until tomorrow when we get a picture of this. We'll be posting it on social media, so you'll be able to see close-ups of all of the things finished. But it's one of those, now move on to the next one. So I'll set this down.
So So Leanne, you mentioned the technique. Obviously, we teach in advanced. Do we teach armatures in our classes?
Oh, well, yes, we do. We teach armatures in basic and advanced. And armatures are becoming more and more important because so many people are going foam free now. And so you need to be able to know how to work foam free and still have stability for delivery. Oh, is that just the weirdest, ugliest thing you ever saw? When I grabbed the other head, I was thinking about Medusa and with the snakes running out of her hair. So I actually was at the flower market and I was talking to Linda, and I said, Linda, don't you have a snake around here? She just looked at me like I was the weirdest thing ever. I'm like, I need a snake. And so then I told her what I was doing, and she's like, oh! No, they didn't have snakes. But I found a snake. And so then I got the snake, and David's like, why did you buy a snake? Well, now you know. Medusa needs a snake. And then she can just have the snake flying out of her head here. Let's see where it belongs the best. Right about there. And I can just support it in place with a wood pick. Don't need the wire.
That's creepy.
That's
Looking right at me. It's like, ah!
It is sort of creepy, isn't it? It's like, ew, but kind of creepy fun. Yeah, my biggest challenge today, though, you'll love this, was trying to determine if I should paint the snake black to match the head. But I was afraid it wouldn't show as well, so I decided to leave it white. But then I was like, well, it could be brown, it could be green. And so then it took me a long time to determine what color are snakes. Do you realize you can go down a hole there? And I was like, I thought, Leanne, you've really lost it when you're trying to determine what color is a snake. But then I decided it was a snake skeleton, so it should be white, so that's why it stayed white.
They're liking it. It's a creepy snake skeleton. We like creepy. Put a tiny witch hat on that snake.
Oh my gosh!
How cute would that be?
I think I do have a tiny hat. I'll see if I can find it. Actually, I know exactly where it is, but it probably is not the right time for me to leave. But he told me, if you look in my prop aisle, right on the floor at the front, because I just set it there, there's a box that has Halloween paraphernalia, and there should be an orange witch hat there. And if you can't find it, just come back, because, but then, do you remember this? Teacher Michelle used it, and then I turned around and used it, and then we still saved it all because it's just too cool. Doesn't that look like a rest of a snake tail? I thought, okay, Medusa could have multiple snakes coming out. So I thought that really kind of just finished that out. So we've got lots of snake vibe going on here. Now, one thing that I do when I'm working on something that I'm like, oh, I'm not sure what I'm doing here. I don't design with snakes. I don't know about this. Is I default to elements and principles. And I think about the theory of design. And then if I'm not really comfortable making something, I go, oh yeah, well, just think about it. You need an emphasis. Well, there's my emphasis. Oh, you need a line. Okay. And then all of a sudden it starts being an arrangement and I can do it and it all falls in place. I thought one thing that I had to have, Celosia cristata. The Celosia cristata is also known as the brain plant, and it's pretty funky. Did you? Yes! Oh my gosh,
Okay.
I knew she would find them. Yay! I've got two to choose from even. Oh my gosh. They might be too big, but we'll see. So I told you I had little witch hats. So we can vote. Should it be an orange one or should it be a black one? I'll let you guys vote and then we'll go from there. Orange or black. But I'm going to go ahead and add in a little bit of the brain plant because I thought how appropriate for Medusa to have a little brain action going on here. And then again, thinking about my elements and principles and carrying it through horizontally, creating a line for the brain coming out the back side so that I've got movement front to back. And I'm finishing it off on the back so that I don't have a flat, unfinished design. So I've just brought it through all the way so you can see. Oh, excuse me. I have a turntable, remember? Thank you. That was a wonderful gift. I'll put it on the turntable so that you can see my snake swivel. Ooh, we have a swivelly snake. Okay, so are we gonna do a black hat or a orange hat, or do we know yet?
We're getting mostly black on Facebook.
And
Same thing over
YouTube
on YouTube.
Yes.
as well.
So black it is, okay. Little bit of grain because it's kind of hair-like.
That celosia really doesn't like brains in that open container.
This is sort of disgusting, don't
You're
you?
having way too much fun today.
I told you I had a lot of ideas. The question was, how much could I fit into an hour? And I think that one I'm going to be better off if I actually pick it.
Is that broom corn that you just put in? Is that what that's considered?
Is it sorghum or broom corn?
I don't know for certain. Sherry had asked, so I will look it up.
I was thinking it was sorghum, but I'm not exactly positive. David, we need you to answer that. You would know. Calling in the troops.
Sorghum. Let me check the sorghum. They're pretty dang close as far as what they look like. No, that's broom corn.
Broom corn, okay.
Yeah. Sorghum is more upright and dense, like the millet.
Ah, okay. So this is broom corn. There we go. Hive minds. Figure it out. So you can see it actually gets to be a ton of fun here. Then we've got, Susan has a little strap to hold it on around her neck. Oh my gosh, that is just so stinking cute. Oh my goodness. I guess, I'm done. I don't know that I can get any better than this. This is just too crazy fun. Oh! So,
Okay, the hat is really cute on there. I gotta admit. You're gonna have to have a Halloween party now, Leanne.
I know, I'm thinking that. So now I'm just trying to figure out what else I want to put in here, because orange could be cool, but it actually intended to use these because of blending to the brown, so that's what I'm going to go back to. But sometimes you get started and you're like, ooh, but I kind of like that. Ooh, but I kind of like that. Ooh, too many choices. And then you get too excited. Just going to shorten it down here because I don't want to cover up my snake.
What a fun design for somebody having a Halloween party, though.
You know, it almost means I have to have a party.
Well,
You know?
there you go.
We might have to do it this weekend because
Because that's when you have the flowers.
you know it never turns out the same way again. My neighbors will be wondering why I've set Halloween out everywhere for the party this weekend, but oh well.
That's all right.
It's a detail. Just a detail. Okay. So just tucked in a few roses to finish it off. And I'm going to stop there. We'll get that one finished up for the photo as well, but I have more. Yes, more. There's always more. Oh, that poor hat fell off. Oh well.
So is the turntable new? I haven't seen that one before.
Yes, it was a gift.
Nice.
Yes. So thank you. Yeah. So as I was working, I was thinking about the Addams family. And remember Thing, the hand that would come out? And I thought, there's a hand. So I started by buying that. Then I thought, but I don't have a box. Remember Thing always came out of a box? And I thought, I do have a box. How cool is this? It was a box that was gifted to me. It's just a wooden box, no big deal. And I lined it with a little bit of foam in a container. And then the hand could actually fit inside and be delivered flat, but I wanted to be able to put flowers, and plus, isn't it more fun if it just sort of starts being creeping out like this? Like, ooh, creepy. And so I thought, well, the hand's gonna go there, the box is gonna go there, and then my flowers just start in. And maybe that's where I'll use some of the dahlias, because it's got an orange hand, you may as well have orange dahlias.
Are those local dahlias? Those are beautiful.
You know, these are from Linda.
They are from Barefoot.
They're
Okay, cool.
Barefoot Farms student Linda, graduate actually. She's one of our flower farmer students, and her dahlias were just exquisite. So that was one of the first things I grabbed when I was hunting for orange things, and decided that would be great. I need to take this last one and actually put it underneath, tucked really low. There we go. Because it'll help support the hand and fill in the mechanics so that it holds. Then I'll go back and more of the brain plant. This is in that beautiful green hue.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Celosia cristata, if you want to order it. And it does grow well here. This is local grown right here in Hillsboro at Peter Court Farms. So yeah, as I was working, I got a lot of local product because the timing of the year is great for that. And we'll have in the classroom for the rest of this class, the advanced and the next class, there should still be local product available with lots of fun things. So it'll be a great time to do flower school. And I'm looking around to see what else I might want to use. So yet another type of celosia. And celosia comes in a lot of different forms. No, amaranthus. Amaranthus. Ah! Leanne, get your words right.
Both of them are mouthfuls, though.
I know. And just letting it come and drape over. Kind of mimicking the feel of the hand, adding that as a rhythmic unifier. Mm-hmm. Carrying the line through front to back. You never want to just stop. I know we've talked about the YouTube channel getting close to 100,000. We need like 120 subscribers. So if you have not subscribed yet, get in there and do it, because we want to have a party. We need to have a champagne toast, a celebration for hitting 100,000, and it's so close. We're like 120 away. I know when Susie and I were talking today, it was like, oh, so close. And then it's like, who do we know? Call them and say, just subscribe. And so I'm calling you and saying, hey, get in there and subscribe. We need you. And I'm just adding a little bit of kangaroo paw now.
Which
And-
looks like little hands.
They do look like little hands, don't they? Wow, that's kind of cool. And I like the kind of the way the color sequences through, gives it a very interesting look. What you got there, Hitomi?
Question, Janet from YouTube had said that she was collecting seeds from golden amaranthus before. Superfood, is it edible? I didn't know that.
I believe that some varieties of amaranthus are edible. I don't know. I'm not a farmer or a grower. So tulips, if one of you know, is amaranth a food? It's just sort of think that it is, but I don't really know. So inquiring minds need to know. What else do we want to do here?
Janet said the golden is.
It is edible. Excellent. Okay, so now you know amaranth, not necessarily this variety, but has edible qualities to it. But I wouldn't eat the stuff that you buy at a flower shop because it's not grown for that. It's grown to be beautiful like this. So I'll take just a little bit of grevillea.
Oh, and she said, Janet said actually the leaves are edible too.
Well, excellent.
Cool.
So if we are ever starving, we can just eat our flowers. We used to have a poster of edible flowers somewhere. I can't remember where it is now.
Yeah, it used to be in the classroom, didn't it?
Yeah, I'm wondering what we did with it. Who knows? Maybe it's rolled up somewhere, stored away. Maybe I've lost it. Okay. Just getting a little bit of height in here.
They're loving the glitter hand, except for Jim. Because you know Jim hates glitter.
Well, and I've got glitter all over me. I've got glitter everywhere. Yeah, it's kind of a glitter fest.
And I said, Jim, this next one's for you. And he said, it was all I could do not to say, ugh, glitter, the double spawn of the universe.
Look at that. I should have bought a third one of these because isn't that fun just setting up on top there, pulling your eye all the way through. I'll turn it so you can look on the other side. It is all-sided. What do you think? Do you like it? Is that a go? You know, it is funny because I wasn't sure I was excited about Halloween, but obviously I kind of got into Halloween. We also have, where is it?
They're sending up hearts left and right. They love it.
Good. I'm glad you enjoy it because I am. There's these interesting leaves too that we're getting in all different colors. Yes, they are dyed, they are not natural, but to do some beautiful additions, I can just clip this. Ooh, it's a very hard leaf. There we go.
I think those are beech leaves, aren't they?
I believe it is
Yeah.
preserved and dyed beech, yeah. I know that it stains the water, so if you do it into a glass vessel, you've got to be a little bit careful because it can be quite messy and your vessel is no longer white or clear. I need a little bit under my hand to cover my foam there. And I'm just laying it. That's not even going into foam because it doesn't need foam. It's not going to drink. Back here I am placing it in the foam because I want it to stay in place. I don't want it to go anywhere. But that way I've got a little bit more of that autumn vibe moving through. Okay. So we've got just a couple more minutes. Let's see what more fun I can have. I've got so many beautiful flowers.
Now, Leanne, before you move on, you had black foam in that, did you not?
I did. I used black foam for everything this time.
Would you need to hide your foam in that case?
You know, that's a tough one, and there's different answers. And I get that question frequently from students that are going to be testing for AIFD or in a design competition. And technically, it is considered to be decorative and that it could show, but some people find it to be tacky and they don't want it to show, and so then they would count you down if it was in a competition. So that's something that you've got to be real careful about, depending on what you're doing with it. With Halloween, I think it's showing is actually very appropriate because the black goes with the whole theme. But again, if it's for a competition, you're going to have to wonder. And then sometimes a customer might just be put off by the fact that they can see it because they have been trained to know that, oh, you never let foam show. And then all of a sudden you do, and they're like, oh, that's so wrong. Well, so that's not a good answer, is it? Because I didn't really give you an answer, but technically you could let it show. So I'm just going to create a quickie armature here, and the whole goal is just to have something that will support my flowers. Tying it off with line wire. And those of you that have gone to flower school, you already know how to do this type of thing, but just kind of want to show quickly. And then I'll grab my leaves again, cut them down. So you've got about 4 minutes. If you've got a question, get it in there. If you haven't subscribed, do so. If you've got a Halloween idea that you want to share, that you wish that I had shown, but maybe I didn't even think of it, maybe I need you to tell me, type it in. Because I always go back through and read what's in there afterward, just because I like to see what your thoughts are. And I learn from you, just as you're learning from me, because we all do things a little differently. And I think it's important to share our ideas and to share the concepts so that we can all be more creative, more successful. A little bit more of the broom corn, sliding it in, letting it drape. So far, all of this is incredibly long lasting. It's just going to last for forever. So this would be a good thing to make up ahead of time, to where you just then go back and add flowers later. You don't have to do this at the last minute. You can plan ahead.
I don't know, I think it looks pretty good just with the materials you're working with, just layered
I know,
texture.
isn't that kind of fun? I could see that just sitting in a big ceramic vessel just by itself. It doesn't even need flowers. I can't believe I said that. Everything needs flowers. Who said that? Who is inhabiting this body? Obviously, I've been haunted, because I would never say it doesn't need flowers. It's like saying it doesn't need coffee. I mean, we all know coffee is a necessity. And then some beautiful mini Gerberas. Add a little bit of ring.
Oh, I like it with the flowers. I liked it before, but I like it better now.
So I don't have to rip the flowers out.
It was good, this is better.
Good, better, best.
That's right.
Okay. So I don't know, Berga, if you're on today or not, if you're catching it on replay later. Just very excited to have you come join us next month. And the class is just about sold out, so you're going to meet a lot of new, fun tulip friends. And then we should be crazy busy with delightful flowers great teachers, wonderful fellow students, all kinds of excitement to be had. If you haven't done flower school, maybe that's the class you need to be in. It's going to be an exceptional group, and it's fun to have international students back into the city. So sign up for flower school. If you're not ready for flower school in person, sign up online. You know what? We can do that. And no matter what, make sure you subscribe to YouTube, subscribe to our newsletter, and that way we can all get together. I have one more thing I want to share with you. So I'm going to set this down. I'll finish it later. But I guess I got kind of carried away with too many things. Oh my gosh, I really did get crazy. So I have one more. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to set this down. And I'll get this out of the way. I know. I'm supposed to be done. It's been a full hour, but I just couldn't fit it all in. You know, I was on the Addams Family thing. And wouldn't this be the perfect addition to your porch? Cousin it in with our flowers. And then of course, if it's Halloween, you gotta be too cool for school. And it's a hula skirt. Yeah, that's all it is, a fake old hula skirt on a tomato cage. And thanks to Hitomi, we have a black hat. You may recognize that hat because it used to be green with shamrocks on it, but she painted it black. And David's sunglasses from when he was pretending to be the Blues Brothers. So now we truly are ready for a Halloween party. We'll get pictures of everything. If you've got a comment or a question, put it in there. Tag a friend, share, spread it out, sign up for Flower School, and we'll see you next week. Bye for now.